Well, much of Canada remains in the grip of frigid winter weather, while parts of the U.S. East Coast feel the effects of a polar vortex. With more on this, we're joined live by CTV's Renee Rogers. Thank you so much for joining us, as always. In Canada, winter weather in the east and cold weather in the prairies. I'm guessing everyone's asking the same question. How long is it going to last?
Well, it could be here a little while longer, Jamie. Let's start with the Great Lakes region, which includes Toronto. It's undergoing a period of extremely frigid temperatures, as you may have noticed. Now, there's no warnings in place to do with the temperatures in the Toronto area. However, warnings are in place in northern Ontario and northern Manitoba, with wind chills expected of between minus 45 and minus 50 degrees Celsius. Now, as far as the East Coast, that same low pressure system that brought us heavy snow, coastal flooding in some areas, and strong winds is expected to, instead of track out to sea, which a system like this would normally do, it's going to stay parked over the area for the next week or so. And that is expected to bring a ton of snowfall to parts of eastern Canada and Quebec. In fact, Quebec is being warned of snowfall anywhere between 35 and 40 centimeters starting this evening. Then farther east, Inverness County in Nova Scotia and Cape Breton and PEI are being warned of 15 to 25 centimeters. Then out on the west coast, there are snowfall and wind warnings in place. So it's definitely a mixed bag of winter weather right here across Canada, and for some people it could get downright cold.
Let's talk about our friends to the south of us who are impacted by this polar vortex. What can you tell us about that?
Right. So the polar vortex brought weather havoc over the past several days to mostly the heartland of the U.S. Snow tracked across a more than 2,000 kilometer swath of the U.S. The top total was actually in Chapman, Kansas, at more than 50 centimeters. And when I talk about weather havoc, I mean, at least 4 people died in traffic crashes. There were thousands of flight cancellations, widespread power outages, and school closures. But now, Jamie, the concern is dangerously cold temperatures that are expected to follow in the wake of that wintry weather. So temperatures from northern Texas and the plains right up to the mid-Atlantic are expected to be between 5 and 20 degrees below average, according to the National Weather Service. And as you can imagine, there is a scramble to get power restored to the tens of thousands of people who do not have power and could be facing some very, very cold conditions coming up. In Kentucky, the governor there, Andrew Beshear, warning people, if your power is not on by tonight, you need to think of a plan to stay somewhere else.
We appreciate that update. CTV's Renee Rogers, thank you.
You're welcome.